everybody, it's me, Sam Stein, managing editor at the Bulwark, and I'm about to have a lifetime achievement, or at least something I've been wanting to do forever. I'm going to talk with Andrew Kaczynski, who is of CNN. I've been a longtime fan of Andrew's, as he knows, from my constant DMs. And we're going to be talking for the first time. I think this is our first time doing something like this, right?
First time, yeah.
Oh, my God. Why did we wait so long? We're going to talk about Andrew's reporting on Pete Hegseth. In particular, a couple clips that you've surfaced of, I want to call him the Department of Defense Secretary. I'm not going to Department of War. Prior in his life saying that soldiers don't have to disobey illegal orders. Andrew, before we get into it, I guess it's worth sort of setting the table why this matters, right? Like, so why don't you give us the backstory about why it matters that Hegseth said this back in 2016 or whatever?
Well, I mean, it's because him and Trump, and Trump in particular, suggested that Democratic members of Congress, I mean, I guess what? He didn't suggest, right? He said it.
No, he said it.
He said it. Like, we're trying to be careful sometimes and say suggest, but like he said it.
Yeah.
That Democratic members of Congress who said that troops didn't need to follow unlawful orders should be executed. That Trump said, like he's saying, what was the? Well,
he called it sedition, and he said the punishment for sedition is execution, right? I mean, that's the proper way to describe it. And the backstory was that there was like 6 Senate Democrats or 6 congressional Democrats who had put out a very kind of weirdly timed video or oddly timed video where they just reminded troops that you do not have to follow unlawful orders. Okay, Trump responds, and then Pete Hegseth says he's going to court-martial one in particular. And that's Senator Mark Kelly, because I guess Mark Kelly was the only one of the 6 who was he could court martial. So then, what did you find that made it hypocritical?
Well, if we go back, first last week, and the thing that's most, I guess, sort of ridiculous about all this is that what they said is just law. That is just military law. It is military law that you do not have to follow unlawful orders. It is in the Uniform Military Code of Justice. You're required to follow lawful orders, but you don't need to follow unlawful ones. So last week we found a video of Pete Hegseth giving a speech in April 2016 where he's like,
let's be honest, there's a pent-up supply of attacks on Donald Trump on the Republican side of the spectrum. A lot of people held back for a long time. Last debate, Marco Rubio did. In this debate, it was Rubio and Cruz going at Trump, and they went with the New York Times transcript, with Trump University, with offshoring jobs and ties. I mean, they were going with everything they could.
Military leaders saying you could not possibly kill the families of would-be terrorists, and they would not follow the order. And his answer, Donald Trump's answer on what if the generals won't listen to you when you say take out the families? They'll listen. That's really not the answer.
No, I got some response from vets on that saying you're not just going to follow that order if it's unlawful.
Right. Especially because what happened with the CIA last time, they end up they get legal authority to do waterboarding. Next thing you know, there's a new president, and they have to go lawyer up.
Yeah. And that was essentially the same thing that all of these Democratic senators were saying, right? Now, I remembered, and it's weird because like 2016 seems so long ago.
It is long ago.
It is long ago, right? I'm getting older. But there was one of the presidential debates that I remembered when I was like searching for this stuff because I was like, Pete Hegseth, he was like always commenting. He's always on Fox. I was like, what did he say? And there was a controversy where Trump literally said at a debate, he said he's going to bring back torture, like big time. Yeah. All right. And so I was like, what did Hegseth say around this stuff? So we went over to the Internet Archive Wayback Machine, and that's where we found that Hegseth said not once, not twice, but 3 times in comments that were, to be clear, targeting Trump. He's responding to Trump being like, the military is going to follow my orders, to say, literally direct quote, you're not going to follow an order if it's unlawful. Military is not going to follow illegal orders. And then there was a whole thing on Megyn Kelly where he's really critical of Trump, where he's calling Trump all bluster, calls him an armchair tough guy. He brings up all of his draft vermins. It's crazy to think about now with Hegseth. He's defending the honor of John McCain.
It's typical Trump. All bluster, very little substance. He talks a tough game, but then when pressed on it, he's an armchair tough guy. I hate to say it, but this is a guy who said that John McCain is not a war hero, yet he sought his own 5 military deferments because he says big, blustery things that people want to hear after 7 years of mom jeans from Barack Obama, who refuses to fight the enemy and, frankly, has restrictive rules of engagement that hurt our men and women on the battlefield. But he goes way too far. And then when the military says, we won't follow illegal orders like torture or killing families, which is not loosening the rules of engagement, he suddenly realizes, wait, I might actually be commander-in-chief. And the problem here is that voters don't know whether you get the bluster Trump, or which is the armchair tough guy, or you get the one who walks it back on a statement now and says, no, I'll follow the law.
Yeah. And he's attacking Trump, and he's like, it's funny because the exact quote that Hegseth used on Megyn Kelly is like, Trump is going to create ambiguity for the military because he's going to be like, follow my orders, and they might not follow my orders. They will follow his orders. And Hegseth's like, that's going to create ambiguity for the military. And that is like literally the same thing that he's now attacking senators for saying. He was like, the statement that they give is that they claim the Democratic senators created this process where now, there's ambiguity around should we follow this order. And that's literally almost exactly what Pete Hegseth was saying in these clips.
And that's why we expect that Hegseth will court-martial himself at this point, right? No. You've watched more clips than probably anyone in human history. I think it might be helpful to sort of get people reoriented about what 2016 Republican primary Fox News was. This is pre-Trump emerging as the candidate. It was like,
exactly.
Early on.
Well, this is March. Okay, so this happens in March. All right.
Yeah.
And I had totally forgotten about there had been at this point, I think Marco Rubio is still in. John Kasich is still in.
Oh, yeah. He was like the last to go. He was eating a bunch of Italian food on the trail.
Eating a bunch of Italian food in Brooklyn, New York. Just, staying in, living his best life.
Bulwark Takes is sponsored by Aura Frames. I've got a bit of a holiday gift-giving pattern. I tell myself this year it's going to be different, and then I will panic at the last minute because I forgot to get the more thoughtful gift, and I'll just buy a gift card. Well, this year I skipped the panic, and I gave an Aura Frame. They are an absolute hit among people at the Bulwark, and I am jealous of Sarah Longwell every time I go into her office because I see that frame right there. It looks so good. You can upload unlimited free photos and video. Just download the Aura app and connect to Wi-Fi. You can preload photos before it ships, keep adding from anywhere, anytime. You can share photos and videos effortlessly straight from your phone all year long. It's perfect for sending grandparents their ideal gift, which is pictures of their grandkids. Every frame also comes packaged in a premium gift box with no price tag. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames. It was named #1 by Wirecutter. Use the promo code BulwarkTakes at checkout. That's AURAFrames.com. Promo code BulwarkTakes. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out pretty fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at the checkout.
We had the first Super Tuesday, all right, and the first Super Tuesday, Trump won most of the delegates, and this is before, there was Super Tuesday 2, and maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but I think that's when Trump wins Florida and, Rubio drops out.
Yeah.
But that's where we are when we're having this debate, and, it's Fox, too. It's Megyn Kelly is, really, she's the one who's bringing the people on. It's funny because you have even Pete Hegseth. So Pete Hegseth is Pete Hegseth's long time crusade almost. There have been stories on this. Has been we need to loosen the rules of engagement for troops. And so it's you have Pete Hegseth who's he literally says even for Pete Hegseth, Trump has gone too far with what he's saying. All right. And then so you have Carl Higbie who's on the other side who's defending Trump. And so it's you have those two going at each other. One is defending Trump, one is attacking Trump. And even for Pete Hegseth, Trump has gone too far in these clips.
So I want to peel back the curtain a little bit. Then I want to get into your kind of process. The reason I want to book you on is there's an internal Bulwark Slack thing happening here, which is, when this first happened and Hegseth was I'm court-martialing Mark Kelly, I slacked internally with some folks. I was I wonder if Pete Hegseth back in the day was like, we can't, troops can't, can disobey unlawful orders. Like, or I imagine he had said it around Obama, where it's like, you don't have to obey an Obama order. And there was a colleague here, I'm not going to name names, Andrew Egger, who was like, no way. He's like, Hegseth's offer, like, let the guys torture, let them do what they want.
Exactly.
Ain't no way. And now and so basically you proved that I'm clairvoyant and you made Andrew look silly internally. And that's the entire reason I'm doing this video.
That's what I thought too. I was like, because I was like searching around and I was like, I wasn't even thinking about Hegseth. All right. When I was looking for the clips, I was thinking anybody connecting Trump, Pam Bondi. New York Times had a great story today about how Pam Bondi also filed like a court briefing or something saying troops can't disobey.
I missed that one.
Yeah. I know, right? There's like so much going on. But I was like, so I wasn't even necessarily looking for Hegseth, and he was the one that I found. But I had a very large, because when he picked Hegseth, I was sort of like, I was like, oh my God, because like there's so much to go through, because he's been on Fox for forever.
Yeah.
He's doing speeches for forever. And it's like,
well, can I ask you about that?
Yeah, sure.
What's your process here? Like, I mean, I've always sort of marveled at your ability to dive through this stuff. And honestly, I've tried to, on occasion, emulate it with just a bunch of like Wayback Machine searches and, LexisNexis back when I used that stuff, and just a lot of Google stuff. But like, what's your process for doing a search like that?
I mean, at least for Hegseth, the way we found these additional clips was I went to the archive.org, Internet Wayback Machine, which has television. They have the internet, but they also have television archived going all the way back to 2010. It's an amazing resource. Yeah. And I went and searched, and their like transcripts aren't perfect. So like my name, like Kaczynski, is never coming up on the transcripts. But I searched like unlawful. I looked after I found the initial clip last week, because I already had that saved, because I made a huge database of all Pete Hegseth old comments when he was selected to see what has he said, who is this guy, what does he believe. All right. Yeah. And so I found the first clip, about 2 weeks ago, but then I was like, I want to really target this whole controversy at the debate. There is no way that Pete Hegseth, Fox News contributor at the time, always talking about military affairs, there's no way that he did not comment on this.
Right.
So I went back and I went to the Internet Archive Wayback Machine. I popped in the exact date and I searched just, I put in Pete, and then I like the search string and I put like unlawful orders, and it pulled up, at least 3 clips of him talking about this on Fox News, Fox Business. There's probably more. But I kind of thought 3 was enough to like get the point across that this is what he said.
Do your eyes start to glaze over ever? Like, do you have bad vision? Or you just how do you like? I mean,
we're all just
staring at screens.
We're all staring at screens all day, right?
That's a good point. You would think it would have materialized now if it was going to affect your vision.
I mean, it probably is. I wear pretty intense contact lenses. But.
And if it's not on TV, but like the other piece you had was a speech he gave, right? Like that was not a TV appearance.
It's on YouTube. I think I found it through like Facebook or something. Facebook is a really good place to find stuff, dude.
And they have a good search engine. You can do good searches through there.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm not really sure why it doesn't work. Sometimes they have a really good date search.
Do you still get the thrill when you uncover like a good nugget like that, or has that worn off at all?
I mean, sometimes, like
I was hoping you'd say, it still gets me jazzed.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like it's important. I still get,
it's very, nice discovery like that. I guess there's a philosophical question though, I suppose, that's worth asking, which is like, you've uncovered so much hypocrisy over the course of your career, and it's great. I mean, it's important. I think that actually is valuable. Like, this stuff is valuable. I don't want you to feel, distressed about it, but like, at the same time, does it act? It feels like it increasingly doesn't matter in politics, where it's like, oh yeah, Pete Hegseth like took a diametrically different position 9 years ago on this issue. Now he wants to court-martial someone for something he himself said, and it's just like we're going to keep going on with our routines.
Yeah,
right.
I still think it's important, right?
Yeah,
like it's important. Like, we know that he is, especially because like at least in this particular instance, the harshness in which he's going after like like, I mean, Trump like suggested these people should be executed. Like he was retruthing. Didn't he retweet someone who said they should be hung? Like this is so it's like it is important, at least in this instance, because like they stated the uniform military code of justice, and Pete Hegseth, as we've seen now, has done that at least 4 times, and 3 of the instances is like, look, like he singled out Trump. He said Trump might be somebody who issues unlawful orders, and if he does, they shouldn't be obeyed.
Yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate your work. Okay.
Thank you. It's
you have
good
one
to be
person,
appreciated.
one person out there at least who appreciates what you're doing. No, it's been a pleasure, man. I've always wanted to have you on. I'm sorry it took forever to get you booked.
Let's do it again.
Would you do it again?
Yeah,
this hasn't been too
anytime.
painful?
I'm available. We put this together in like, I don't know, it's 5 o'clock. We put this together in like 2 hours. Let's do it again.
Absolutely. It would be a joy. Andrew Kaczynski of CNN. You guys got to go read his work whenever he does something. It's fantastic.
And
This
sign
one
up
was
for
back
CNN too. It's behind the paywall. Sign up. If you want to keep K-File going.
If you want to keep K-File going, but also sign up for Bulwark, if you want to have
Sign up for
conversations
both.
like this.
Why not?
Yeah, just do both. Package.
Maybe we'll start
All
a bundle someday.
You guys have some other things going on, okay? We won't talk about that. Andrew, thanks, buddy. Really appreciate it.